Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, today we are going to be taking a look at the wonderful, the small, the very capable, and affordable Audio-Technica LP60. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Record-ology.
Alright guys, and here it is. This is the Audio-Technica LP60. Let's take a little tour and then we'll give it a listen. Okay, this is a used unit, so you're going to see a few scratches on that dust cover, but that's exactly why you want a dust cover to be on there, so it can protect the inner workings from the scratches and bumps of life. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice, this is a small turntable. It's a full-size turntable, meaning that this will support edge-to-edge a full 12-inch record. So there's no compromise on platter size just because the cabinet and turntable itself is smaller. So we've got a Audio-Technica felt mat here, which is comparable, and we've got an aluminum platter. The plinth is plastic. I'm assuming this is an ABS material, which is a good plinth material. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. There's nothing wrong with ABS. This is a fully automatic turntable, meaning you can start and stop it without ever touching the stylus yourself. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features. The 45 adapter is 2-speed, by the way, so 45 and 33. The 45 adapter just sits in this little rest up here. It's a little recess, and you can close a lid with it in there. If you pick it up to move it, it will slide out, but it'll sit in that little recess there. But before we look under the hood, let's look at the front here. So sorry for the lighting. We've got up and down buttons, so that raises and lowers the stylus. We've got the stop button. We've got the start button, which literally start and stop the record. And then over here, we've got a switch to select between 33 RPM and 45 RPM. On the back, there's not much to look at because the RCA audio cables are built in. There is a USB jack, so you can use this to record your records to MP3. There are also pots underneath that allow you to tweak and adjust the speed for 45 and for 33. And some other adjustments you can make that are in regards to the return point. In other words, the point at which the tone arm retracts back, thinking that it's found the end of the record and retracts back to the cradle. Okay, so lifting this up, you got to be very careful when you move this around because there is no safety clip in that tone arm rest. And the reason being is because it's a fully automatic turntable, it needs to be able to lift it and raise it out of there and put it back at any time. Down here, you're going to see an interesting switch that you don't often see, and you'll never see it on a manual turntable. That is size setting. So it's set to 12-inch, or you can toggle down to 7-inch. Why would you want that? The reason being is if you hit start, the record player needs to know if you're playing a 12-inch disc or a 7-inch disc. So if you're playing a smaller 45 or even a 45 or a 7-inch 33, it needs to know the size of the record so it knows where to drop that needle, whether it be out here for a 12-inch or in here for a 7-inch. So that's an important feature of this turntable. Okay guys, so underneath the slip mat, you're going to find the aluminum platter here and a couple of openings that allow you to make adjustments if you need to. These are adjustments you probably don't want to be doing if you're not more comfortable with it, if you're not fully aware of what they do. This being a fully automatic turntable does have some minute adjustments that can be made should you learn how to do them or have somebody that is trained to do them. Back here, you're going to see, because this is a belt-driven turntable, you're going to see that familiar position pulley and belt. So what I'm going to do, and you can do this too if you feel comfortable, pull back on that belt and then just lift up on the platter and remove it. Now, underneath the platter, you're going to see how that belt attaches loosely, but friction-based attachment to that platter underneath. And then using your finger, you can just pull it back, and when you set it back into place. I wanted to show you underneath the platter because this may look like a direct drive turntable because of the gears, but it's not. As we can clearly see, it's a belt-driven turntable, but these gears are related to the automatic function of the turntable. They allow the turntable to lift and return the stylus, and that partially has to do with information that is gathered here at the spindle. So you can see the inner workings there, and I can't really demonstrate it in motion without the platter on. That's not a good idea. But even though this is a used turntable, you can see that it's in good condition. If you're getting squeaks and things, you can tell that there's a few things that could use oil. Very, very, very small amounts of oil should you need to do so. However, keep the oil away from the motor pulley and from the belt, because the last thing you want is that thing being greasy and slippery. If you think you have a motor squeaking issue, you might be able to apply a very small amount of oil underneath the pulley, underneath the brass pulley there, to the actual motor spindle. But again, that's something you may want to be careful. But anyway, I just want to show you, what that is and what that looks like underneath, some of the magic that makes an automatic turntable automatic. Now, to put this back, I've got my finger on that belt, stretching it out. We're just going to lower it back in place, and with my finger, I am going to make sure that that belt is engaging with the pulley in the right spot. There's just a very clear groove there, and it's okay to spin it a couple times there to make sure it's doing its thing, and we can put the felt mat back, and we are ready to give it a listen. As you can see, a super neat turntable, and what a value. I mean, this thing has so many features for a very good price. If you're interested in buying this turntable, go ahead and click on the link in the description. It'll take you right to the Amazon page where you can buy one. Okay, so let's give it a test here. We are going to start with a 12-inch record. So I am pulling a record out. And this is not a perfect condition record by any means, but it will give us an idea of the sound quality and the working of this turntable. Now, because it's a 12-inch disc, I have it set to 12-inch. There is no power button per se on this turntable. As soon as it's plugged in, it's on. But don't worry, it's not going to draw a lot of current just sitting there. You don't have to unplug it after every use. We have our speed set to 33 because this switch is in the out position. And now, all we literally have to do is hit start. We have our powered speakers connected. You can also hook it up to a stereo system. All you have to do is hit the start button. It's going to spin the platter, lift the tone arm, rotate it over to the beginning of the record, and gently lower it into that groove. Okay, and when the record is finished, it will also automatically return the tone arm to the rest and stop that platter. It stops automatically. You can hit the stop button and you can start it with one push of one button, which is very cool. What an amazing, amazing, full-featured, fully automatic turntable. All right, now let's try a 7-inch disc. Okay, now to play a 45, you're going to want to set the speed selector switch to 45. And again, some 7-inch discs are still 33, typically the ones that have the small hole. But if you're playing a record with a large hole like this, that's a 7-inch disc, 10 times out of 10, almost, it is going to be a 45. So take that 45 adapter, place it there, go ahead and put your record right there. This is a dirty old scratchy copy of Take 5 by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Now, don't forget to flip this down to 7-inch. Why? It needs to know how far in to drop that needle when you hit start. And besides that, it's the same functionality as we saw before. Just hit the start button. It's now spinning 45 RPMs, and it's rotating the stylus to that 7-inch disc mark. Alright guys, that was and is the Audio-Technica LP60, even approved by Vinyl Snobs and also approved by Record-ology. I think it sounds great. I think the features are amazing for the price, and I think that it has a good sound, build quality, feature set, And, you know, I just like it all the way around. Everything about it is good, in my opinion. I think this would be a great turntable if you're wanting to move from an all-in-one or a suitcase player sort of to the next level. This is a good second turntable if you've started with one of those. And if it's your first record player, this would be a good record player as well. To have full automatic control at this price is amazing. And Audio-Technica is a good product, and I think you're going to have a lot of happiness and a lot of enjoyment with this turntable. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Happy record night. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching Record-ology. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss a single thing.
I am the Edison phonograph. The more you become acquainted with me, the better you will like me. Ask the dealer.